Hi, my name is Alan, and today I wanted to talk a bit about who I am as well as what I do in the mental health field. And a great way of going about doing that is through reading a passage from one of my favorite books called Wherever You Go, There You Are by Jon Kabat-Zinn. And the author, Jon Kabat-Zinn, is one of the pioneers in mindfulness-based stress reduction therapy, which is something that I try to embody on a day-to-day basis, as well as something that I give to my clients when I am helping them be more aware of mental health, as well as just more aware of their day-to-day life and experiences. So this is an excerpt from a chapter called Non-Judging. While our thinking colors all our experience, more often than not, our thoughts tend to be less than completely accurate. Usually they are merely uninformed private opinions, reactions, and prejudices based on limited knowledge and influenced primarily by our past conditioning. All the same, when not recognized as such and named, our thinking can prevent us from seeing clearly in the present moment. We get caught up in thinking, we know, what we are seeing and feeling, and in projecting our judgments out onto everything we see off a hairline trigger. Just being familiar with this deeply entrenched pattern and watching it as it happens can lead to greater non judgmental receptivity and acceptance. So, with that, I wanted to acknowledge one of the things that I am subject to not being the best at in my day to day practice, and that is understanding that if a client may be having a certain behavior, it's not due to who they are fundamentally and their personality, but rather things that occur in their environment that makes them a bit more reactive. So, one of the distinguishing factors that I try to express to other people with regard to mental health awareness is the difference between responsiveness and reactivity. Reactivity is having just a snap, impulsive, um, how do I phrase it? Reaction, better yet, toward anything that may be occurring in our environment. So if we put our hand on a hot stove, we may pull back and it may hurt a lot, which is a normal response. But if someone lashes out on us and screams and yells and may be very aggressive in their approach, a typical reaction may be retaliating and just being very reciprocal in what it is that we give them and translating the same energy that was given to us. Responsiveness, in contrast, is taking a step back, understanding why it is that these behaviors may be occurring, and asking yourself, hey, do you need some help? Is there something that is occurring in your life that may be causing you to react in this way? And in what ways might I have affected it? Taking accountability for your part in the interactions between you and others. And I find so much power in understanding that juxtaposition, understanding that more often than not, we move through life on autopilot. And if we can just be a bit more mindful of who we are and what our intentions are on a day to day basis, that can help us navigate so efficiently through anything that ails us, or better yet, any goals that we have and who we want to be as fully realized individuals. So, a quote that I wanted to share to close out this small virtual talk that we're having is a quote from Epictetus that I came across from a friend of mine. And it is, happiness and freedom begin with a clear understanding of one principle. Some things are within our control, and some things are not. It is only after you have faced up to this fundamental rule and learned to distinguish between what you can and can't control that inner tranquility and outer effectiveness become possible. What I try to tell people is that we always have our own cognitions within our control. As difficult as that may seem, we can always choose to respond, take a step back, and understand that if we are receiving a certain level of energy that we may deem to be negative or not favorable, we can view with clarity that in that moment, it's not due to anything malignant that the person wants to do onto us, but more so something that may have caused them to feel that way in the environment. And if ever we feel that about ourselves, we should always take the opportunity to tell ourselves that we're worthy of love and that we shouldn't respond, or rather react, to anything occurring in the environment with self-hatred and self-harm, but rather respond with self-love. Thank you very much. It was a pleasure meeting you, and I hope to talk soon.